Good morning, Marty.
What's up, Billis?
How are you, brother?
I'm good, man.
Yeah,
What's going on?
my my camera's already frozen. I got to get the camera sorted out. Hey,
Yeah, your camera's all over the place, man.
yeah, well, we're gonna get it fixed up here. I one thing at a time, man. The bootstrapping game. You pull one lever one day, you pull another lever another day.
Yep.
So hey, today we were supposed to have the Dr. Labby, but old Uncle Keith was confused on the dates. Today's only the 9th. Is it the 9th?
Come on, OG. Come on, OG.
Yeah. So Labby's joining us tomorrow on the 10th. What's up, Dr. Labby? We'll see you tomorrow morning. We're going to talk vision. We're going to talk sports, athletics, having good eyesight, staring at your screen. CMarty fit.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
We're guilty.
We are. As we sit here in the green room, we get set up. I look on the camera, and there's Marty staring at his screen.
Always.
You always. So instead, today, we're going to talk about two things. Most overrated qualities of a leader, nation, as well as y'all want to talk about compound lifts. Keith and CMarty talked about compound lifts a couple weeks ago, and y'all just like, hey, we want more. Y'all liking our content, liking our shorts, and you're like, hey, we want more stuff from Keith and CMarty regarding compound lifts. So we're going to put the old barbell exercises down. We're going to talk big lifts today again in the gym, in the lab here this morning. And then I think we're going to maybe introduce some fun segments that Melissa and Jimmy don't know about. Views from the lab. Maybe Keith and CMarty will toss out a few topics here this morning to talk about. One came across my desk this morning, Marty, that I know when we had coffee, when we met last night, I said I'd prepare you for these topics. Well, one came up today. I'm like, we got to talk about it here this morning. So how are you today? How was your night last night?
It was good, man. Went to bed 9:15. Woke up at 2 a.m.
Well,
and, couldn't really fall back asleep. So
dude,
here we are.
That's exceptional, man. That's hardcore.
That's all right.
That's all right. That's all right. We have in the lab this morning, guess who's here? We have... Good morning, Future.
Oh, Future. I'm like, what?
Oh, okay, Enzo, yes, I still got to accept the Instagram invite. I will do that for you today, my friend. Camera's frozen. Yes, I know the camera's frozen, Enzo. I got to get that sorted out here this morning. And it looks like Enzo's talking about all the stuff that he sent Marty today. That's exactly what he was looking for. So, Enzo, welcome to the show here this morning. Coming up here in the lab. It is, I guess it's the winter over there in Australia, New Zealand, isn't it, Marty?
Yeah, it's winter. He's cold.
Yeah, we had a great show yesterday. Gareth joined us down under.
Yeah, he's a goat.
He is a goat. Yeah, we talked AI fitness. I was going through the edits of last night's show with Carter, and man, dude. So Gareth sits down with his wife, takes his camera, takes a picture of his gear, and says, "Hey, I'm X years old. I want to train. Here's my situation. Here's the context of my life." Sends a picture to Chat GPT, and it makes him his entire workout program. It's pretty.
That's crazy.
That is pretty crazy. That is pretty cool. Yeah, and only going to get better too.
I'm looking forward to it, man.
Yes.
Technology, something else.
It's true. What's up, Sanasha Lee? I appreciate seeing you there too. And Jimmy, thanks for the heads up. All the streams are good in StreamYard, which is awesome. Oh, it's -2 degrees over there in the old sunny country of New Zealand.
Ooh.
So, yeah. We're going to start a little segment here, views from the lab here this morning. So what do you think are 7 words that suggest... We were talking about this last week. You know, these words that we just know AI wrote it. Here, I got 7. 7 words that suggest a text was written by AI. Now, I'm going to give you one of them because you called it out when we talked last week about World of Warcraft. There's one world that anytime you're reading AI-generated stuff, you're like, oh, yeah, totally generated by a machine. And that word is what?
Realm, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Realm. You're right. And that's yes, realm. You're right. That's exactly the word it was. It was realm. But
there was another one.
Yeah, the other one that I forgot to talk about last week. Delves.
That word sucks.
Oh man, it's all over there, man. It's like
nope.
That's exactly it. So, Nation, as we're talking this through, what are some words that you find are obvious that are fake ones? So, delves is one of them. Realm's another one. Here's another one, Marty. Showcasing. If you read lots of text and there's lots of the word showcasing what's going on, there's a good chance it might be written by AI generated bots.
I'm iffy on that one.
All right. Here's another one for you. Right. Underscores.
Yeah, that's
cheesy.
Nobody says that.
Who uses underscores?
Only unless you're referring to somebody's Instagram handle. Yeah, 1 2 3 4 underscore Keith.
No. 1 2 3 underscore 1 2 3 underscore Keith. That's what it is. That's exactly what it is. All right, another one. Another word that we know is generated by AI text. It's comprehensive. Oh, I wrote this comprehensive book.
Yeah. Nobody says that.
Who uses comprehensive?
I don't know. Nerds. But we're nerds, and we don't use that.
So, Business Athlete Nation, if you're listening to us right now and you're about to write some emails or some text today, Marty, everybody's frantically hitting backspace on their keyboards right now or scratching stuff out. I can't use showcasing because Marty's going to call me out on it. All right,
I definitely will.
Next one, crucial.
Oh, that's a reach. No, you can use crucial. People use crucial.
It's crucial we get the project done, Marty. It's crucial.
I'm sure I've said crucial a couple times, like on my podcast or something. Crucial isn't that bad.
It's crucial that you delve into the realms of tomorrow before you show.
Yeah, now that's AI. Get that out of here.
Exactly.
Get that out of here.
Here's one for you, Nation. Intricate. The intricate.
Yeah, that's definitely one.
Like, what are these words? You know what's funny? So if you spent any time on, so we know that Reddit was a large provider of many of the words across the large language models, right? So just think about all the humans over the last 100 years, propagating the internet with all these words. Realm, intricate. Delve, crucial.
Yeah.
Here's one. So we said intricate. Okay, here's the last one, Marty. The seventh word that's a telltale sign of AI writing. Christopher Martin, it is pivotal. A pivotal moment.
Oh, that's a reach. Come on. People use pivotal.
Listen to you say the word. Say it.
Pivotal.
Yeah, because you use it so much. It's such a part of your conversation. Pivotal.
But the phrase pivotal moment, a pivotal moment. Like I've heard that plenty of times. It's not like, I don't know about. They could have come up with some better words. You know what? CMarty and Keith coming up with a list, because I could come up with some better words than that.
Coming up in the lab, CMarty and Keith, our own list of AI generated.
I could come up with a better list than that, because there's some unnecessary words. I go on LinkedIn all the time, and I'm like, man, you don't talk like that in real life. Every time I get on there.
Oh man! Good morning, Sarvina. What's shaking, girl? Good to see you here in the lab. Oh, Marty, she joined in at 7:06. Usually she joins in at 1 or 2 minutes after. So Sarvina, you're running a little.
You got some work to do, Sarvina.
Oh, Enzo, you got a story to share about AI? Yes, we'd love to hear that. And yes, Sarvina, we are your favorite people. Thank you. Yes. You're well, I don't know. Is she your favorite person? Maybe one of them. We love all of our guests on the show. We love all of our audience members.
She's our favorite.
She's our favorite. She's absolutely
Enzo's not our favorite.
No. Oh, so speaking of, so Nation, I have a question for all of you. I had a conversation with Marty yesterday about this. So, Marty's awesome at naming our great guests like goats, right?
No, don't tell him. Not yet.
I'm going to leave it on the table. Just know that we're working on some fun things for our,
we are. We are
greatest guests. And just know that Keith and CMarty love giving everybody gold medals.
Yes.
So
everybody gets a gold medal.
You're all going to get a gold medal.
You don't have to earn it. You just get one automatically.
You get one just for showing up here in the lab with us in the morning. Oh, what's going on? What's this podcast about? The Saint Laurent? Well, the podcast is about waking up in the morning with Keith and CMarty Fit. And it's about
Saint Laurent Dawn. Yeah, we talk about everything, man. It's the intro, man. You got to any podcast, you don't just get straight to the topic, you know. That's the top podcast, Joe Rogan, whoever. You don't just jump right to the topic, you know, right away. So we just
That's right. We want y'all to get to know Keith and CMarty Fit. We
got to warm up the audience a little bit.
Yeah, we want you to, Marty. We want them to delve into the conversation with us.
Hop into the realm with us.
Hop into the realm and hang out with us to talk about the top leadership qualities of leaders coming up in a little bit. And compound movements. We got the accountability check-in coming up in a few moments. Of course, the CMarty Fit tip, and of course, I'm touching my tablet in front of me here with all my texts in front of me. It just sure as hell ain't working. So, but that's okay. That's absolutely all right. So, listen. Okay, we talked about this last week. We talked about, well, do we want to talk about it for a couple minutes? Maybe we do. So Ozempic is still around, man. No, not around. Hold on, not around. It's hard for me not to have conversation with folks where that topic doesn't come up.
Really?
Yeah. It just, I don't know. It just seems to come up all the time. It's just this one of those, maybe because I talk about it, this business, fitness industry, but people are like, so Keith, what do you think about Ozempic? I'm like, well, you know, I have my opinions on it. George Jansen has taught me some grace around some philosophies around it, but I'm still stuck on the idea of the shortcut, Marty. That's where I get struggled with it.
I can't get with it. You know, even with someone as brilliant as Jory bringing us, you know, a different angle to look at it. Yeah. I can't get with it, man. I can't get with it. I can't. Just knowing how the body functions and knowing how pivotal. No, I'm playing. But how important it is to keep moving and longevity and how weight training can help that and just moving your body and staying active. I just can't understand it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, I'm Marty. For me, and again, I guess I'm bringing it up because I really want to continue having the conversation with Business Athlete Nation, LinkedIn Nation, Threads Nation. For me, Marty, again, I'm back to Jory. Love the grace you offer, Jory, for your point of view, and I'm all ears around it. And if these drugs help people take that first step, I'm all about that. I really am as a human being. But as a human, though, and what Keith and Marty are really trying to build a business around is help you guys stay accountable and achieve your goals. And I just don't believe this with a shortcut. I don't. So if Ozempic or any of those weight loss drugs are part of your journey, I guess, Marty, what I'd offer to somebody is, okay, maybe that's part of your journey, but come still knock on our door to help you stay accountable when that journey ends. Mm-hmm. Or when you decide to make some different choices. Maybe those drugs help you open the door. But maybe along the way of your journey of life, you might need some people to help you keep that door open. I guess that's where Keith and CMarty want to come into your life. So, you know, don't look at this as judgment on, you're taking Ozempic. It's more of my curiosity stems from this idea of I just don't know what it's teaching somebody. That's where I get hung up on it. It really is.
No, absolutely. And then just look at, like, if you mess your life up in any other area of life, you know, you got to work backwards and work your way out of it. I just don't see how that is going to help your mental having that shortcut and help you in the long run. You know,
I feel the same way. I really do. Yeah. I really do. So Enzo's got some more comments for us here. So obviously we know the pros and cons. So I want to get into some AI conversation in a couple moments here before we dig into our accountability check-in. But Enzo comes in with obviously we know the pros and cons of AI. Here's an example of it. At my dad's work, they have spent 8,000 hours of building a blueprint, getting consent to build a warehouse, writing down all the necessary equipment needed. Let me remind you, 8,000 hours of man labor, very big project. They started it before COVID. Obviously, there have been delays, but since then, AI has come in. They've decided to use the other day. AI, oh my goodness. AI built a whole new blueprint and wrote down the whole method, all materials needed in 11 minutes. Yeah.
Wow.
That's a clear example of pros and cons of AI. And what this reminds me very much, Enzo, of the Tyler Perry project happening here in California, where, you know, he was about to drop, what was it, I think about $400 million on a massive studio project, Marty. And as generative AI has been coming across the landscape, he's like, no need for me to spend $300 million.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm just going to use AI to help me build my movies. So that's a great example, and so thanks for sharing that. It certainly is. It certainly is changing the landscape in the world with how we're doing things. Most importantly, it's changing how people are using AI with fitness. And yesterday we had a chat, Marty, with Gareth Riordan from the Gold Coast. What's shaking, Gareth? I hope you're joining us, man. It's 10 o'clock. It's 10, whatever, it's 10:17 down there in the future with Gareth. We had a poll yesterday, Marty. Do you use AI tools and apps to enhance your fitness? We asked the question of Nation. And the responses we had were 25% yes, always. 50% said sometimes. 25% never. And nobody said rarely. I'd like to change that. I'd like you and I to help change that. I think that there's an opportunity for us to go and help change the perspective on how people weave AI into their life.
Yep.
And White Lotus, I agree. He is an exceptional professional, but only on the even days. On the off days, I don't know if he is. Just on Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Try my best. Try my best.
Oh man! So today we got a poll today, Nation. Today's poll: what's the number one thing a leader can do to earn your trust, Marty? We got 4 choices. Number 1, show authenticity. Number 2, communicate clearly. Number 3, be transparent. Number 4, maybe the least important, depending on the first 3, is keep promises. What would you vote? Authentic, communicate clearly, be transparent, or keep your promises. What would be what's the one attribute in a leader that you look forward to the most?
Honestly, I think transparency is probably the most important there.
Yes,
I think so.
Yeah, I would agree with you, because I want to know whether show me your warts.
Yeah.
So I can be a part of that challenge with you, because you're human, I'm human. So if you have warts, I want to know about them, so I can we can be aware of how they might impact us, right?
And if I'm not doing a good job, or I'm not doing something correctly, you got to let me know, man.
Yes.
I don't care if you're authentic. You need to let me know if I need to change something, or if if you're not satisfied with my work, or if I can do better. Let me know.
Yes.
That's the type of guy I am.
Yeah. Marty, talk about that with some of the coaches you've had in the past, some of the leaders you've had in the past, because we are talking leadership today, and we're talking overrated leaders today. I'm going to make an assumption. You've had coaches or leaders, professors in your school where there's been this perception going into either the team or the class where there's this leader who's exceptional. And then you're like, really? Have you experienced that before?
Yeah, not to, I don't want to get too personal, but I've definitely dealt with that with coaches.
Yes.
But just, you tell me you want to do one thing another way. So, but you tell me you want to do something one way, but in your mind, you wanted to change the type of defense we run, but you didn't tell me that. So I'm doing what we did on the scouting report last week. So how am I going to know that? Now right. I'm on the bench, but you never told me what to change. So
there you go. Yeah.
That's one way. Yeah.
Communications is an incredible skill for a leader. And, whether you're authentic, whether you're being transparent, communicate clearly, be transparent, warts and all. I just really believe your team's going to respect you, support you, because they recognize you're human, and they recognize you don't have all the answers. So, somebody's, I think there's enough respect from somebody saying, hey, you're willing to put your hands on the wheel. I'm going to respect you for that. And I'm going to follow what you have to say. So coming up in a few moments, the accountability check-in, Jimmy, we're going to do that here in a couple of moments. Marty, I do want to throw something on the table, though, that you and I had talked about yesterday for a few moments, and I could not stop thinking about it last night. And it's this idea of what would somebody pay their favorite creator? What's one's value? Now, Nation, hear me out here for a second. So y'all wake up and have coffee with Keith and CMarty Fit. Marty, you told me yesterday, what's coffee at Starbucks? $3? $4?
I think it's $3.13. Straight black coffee, medium. $3.13.
$3.13.
I run a Starbucks every now and then.
Just every now and then.
No, really, every now and then. Yeah. I don't do it often.
So 30 days in a month, nation, that's about $90, $100 for the month to get your coffee, which is exceptional. I'm all for that.
Yeah, some people go every day.
Yeah. But Marty, here's the question that makes me curious. As we move into a new world of creators and subscriptions and supporting creators, and the economy is changing. And nation, what I'm going to say next, I don't want you to mishear this at all. I'm just being curious. Like, would y'all spend $1 a day to wake up with Keith and CMarty Fit? I don't know. Like, is our time and the content that we produce for you and the accountability that we hope we offer to you to wake up with us every single morning, like, is that worth $1 a day, Marty? I don't know. Is it worth 50 cents a day?
I would believe so.
I would too, frankly. And I know obviously we're biased because we're doing this, but you know, we are in a business to build a business. And as we continue looking at how we're monetizing the Business Athlete Performance Lab and growing this thing, and as the media landscape, Marty, changes around the world, it makes me curious. Like, would we rather have, you know, you and I, would we rather have 1 million people around the world that we don't know that are interacting with us and throwing salt at us and throwing gravel at us and trying to throw darts at us? Or would we rather have like a community of 1,000 or 10,000 people, of Enzos and Gareths of the world and the Sarvinas of the world that are all like, yeah, I like waking up with Keith and CMarty Fit. And I think it's worth 50 cents of my day to do it, or $1 of my day to do it. I don't know, Marty. Just something to think about, no? And maybe it's a poll question we ask Nation, Marty. Like, what would you pay for a creator you enjoy spending time with? Like people are spending an hour or 2 hours a day with us every single day. There's got to be some value to that, isn't there, Marty?
I absolutely agree. We should ask them. Let's do it today.
I think it's worth the question, Nation. We're going to put it out there. So, like, what would you know, is it $1 a day? Is it $3? And no, we're not. There's no judgment, and really, there's no judgment. We're not going to not. What's that baby sound you have in your soundboard, Marty? We're not going to not be friends with you because you're like. Exactly. Just curious, right? Because you know, if you're all like William Ray, my friend William Brooks Swadar. Like, hey, you know, just calling out friends. Would you spend $1 a day to hang out with Keith and CMarty Fit? You're spending $3 on a coffee. I don't know. Things to consider, Marty. Jimmy, yes, and Enzo. I appreciate you saying this, my friend. So Enzo, I pay 60 hours of sleep. That's exactly it.
Enzo's hilarious, man.
Oh, and their shows worth more than that. Yeah. And you know, he's like, the advice you give is more valuable. I'm biased. I've been around for more 2 months, followed you in this journey. I appreciate that, Enzo. And again, more than just, it's just a curious question, right? That we want to throw out there. And as we continue building this thing and working on monetizing it, and we believe we can build something that is sustainable long-term. Y'all are enjoying it. And you know, whether it's through sponsorship or through its subscriptions, we want to continue to find a way to add value to Nation and keep you guys coming back over and over and over. But Marty, it's this time, Jimmy, it's this time to do this. Yep. The time where the dad dances, Marty flexes. Gonna pull Marty off the screen. We are going to do the accountability check-in. Jimmy, pull the guy off the screen, man. You know, let's see if the numbers go down or the numbers go over this point in the show. Leadership isn't just about power. Nah, it's about leading with love. Do your leaders lead you with love? Because if they don't, you got to get a new leader. And you know, this might sound fluffy, but leading with love is powerful. Here's why. When you lead with love, you create empathy. That empathy, it creates loyalty. Yep, I drew the word out, loyalty. Kindness? Yeah, kindness, Marty. I'm speaking kindness. Kindness fosters trust. Start with love. Build that empathy, create that kindness, create that trust with your team. And that love that you want to believe, that love you want to create, it inspires passion. So while leading with love isn't weak, it's the strongest move you can make as a leader. So, nation, as I invite you today to be that leader, leadership isn't about power. Not at all, man. It's about leading with love. Put your love out there. We're not talking the mushy rom-com, Jennifer Lopez, Sandra Bullock. Yeah, I'm dating myself. Love. Now we're talking about the human love, empathy, kindness, passion. Inspire humans around you to move forward in life. That's your accountability check-in for today, Monday, July 9th, as we rock and roll into, wow, the show's halfway through as we rock and roll into the daily conversation. Marty, we're bringing it back here, the daily conversation. We're going to talk about leadership. And we're going to talk about how the most overrated qualities of a leader, Marty, because I think there are plenty. And, you know, we often hear about certain traits being essential for great leaders. But are they really as important as we think they are? Let's talk about some of the most overrated ones, Marty. The charisma trap and the visionary thinking. Let's talk about charisma. Many believe that leaders are just they're charisma hogs. Oh yeah, that guy's got charisma. He's the best leader. Talk about charisma, Marty.
Well, charisma is important. You gotta have some level of passion and some level of interest in your journey or your craft, whatever is going on. But you don't want the person that's trying to be, I guess, too charismatic, and it's overshadowing the actual work. Everyone has different personalities, so yeah, you can have a rah-rah person and they ain't talking about ish. Right?
Yeah.
They're not helping you get on track. We're not hitting the goal. I don't care about your charisma. But at the same time, you do want somebody who seems interested.
Yes. Right? Yes, you're absolutely right. And Marty, charisma can often lead to overconfidence and poor decision making. That lady coming in, all that charisma, right? That's and I think what happens often is it overshadows the contributions of the team. Right. So somebody can come in with measures of charisma leading to disengagement from that team. So, one of the advices that, leadership pundits and experts would give is that, focus on that substance over the charisma. That substance can offer value over those empty words that charisma might offer. For example, Marty, Warren Buffett, known more for strategic thinking than charismatic updates.
Yep.
Right. We've seen Warren before. He's not walking in with his big Hugo Boss suit.
Yes.
Which shaken for us, but he's giving you content of substance, right?
Yes.
Right. Yet you find some of the leaders that, lead, so would Elon Musk have charisma?
No, he's not a charisma guy at all.
Yeah, he's what word?
Nope.
What word would we use to describe Elon's leadership? Visionary. Visionary. Yeah, he's a visionary leader. He's absolutely a visionary leader. So often celebrated for their grand ideas. So a guy like Elon Musk is celebrated for his grand ideas, but that's great. Without execution, leadership and vision is meaningless. Now, I know that I like to think big vision, and then you work on executing it. Companies and leaders fail when you're unable to execute on these big visions. A lot of work. It's difficult to paint that picture to those that you're hoping to line up behind that vision. But once you do, and once you can, whether you have charisma, whether you have substance, executing on that massive vision is a massive skill when you are that charismatic trap between a visionary and a charismatic leader. Marty, the myth of perfectionism and illusion of control with leadership. So perfectionist leaders, I've had perfectionist leaders before, my friend. Oh man, they just drive me nuts. They focus too much on the details, and they lose sight of the inefficiencies. Have you had coaches? I'm sure you've had coaches in your time that are just so neurotic on maybe the details where they've just lost touch of everything else. No?
Yeah. I've had both ends of the spectrum. So I've had coaches that were like, we don't, an ugly win is better than a loss. hey, we suck today, but we won. So I've had those type of coaches, but I've had coaches that where we won and they're mad at everything. It's like, bro, we we just beat the best team in the league. What are you mad at? Or one coach I played for, he kept trying to change my jump shot. And I'm like, bro, I've been shooting like this for years. You recruited me as a shooter shooting like this. So don't try to change it as an adult. It's hard to change, and you can't play like that. Now I'm thinking too much, and you got to flow. You got to be in a flow state, even if in business, even when you're working out. You got to be in a flow state. So go ahead. That perfectionist stuff is.
It's interesting to hear you say that because I'm looking at my notes right here and I'm hearing you speak about it from the athletic side of things, Marty. And there's a lot of business leaders or developers, programmers, strategic leaders that, over-engineer products, over-engineer your jump shot, right, Marty? You're like, no, you hired me to do it this way. Why are you over-engineering? Is exactly what you're saying, right?
Yep.
Perfectionism can stifle innovation and risk-taking. Back to your jump shot, right? Somebody just standing there, constantly focusing on making sure your jump shot is better and better and better. But now let me throw this at you though, Marty. You got a guy like LeBron or Kobe who works for hours and hours and hours at perfecting that jump shot. Would you say how would you draw a parallel to one of those two guys as a leader, focusing on perfectionism?
Well, if we're talking about jump shot specifically, you're not changing their jump shot. You might change the release point. You might change how fast the release is. You might change how much arc you put on it. There's different things, but at the end of the day, they're still finding some flow state in that perfection. I guess in that perfection, you're still finding a flow state there, but that's more so reps. The more reps you get in, the better it's going to be. And that works with anything.
Yes.
So
yes.
I don't know if is that perfection?
Good question. Or
I don't think they're perfectionists.
Or, okay, that's a fair comment. Is it better to embrace imperfection then? So you look at a guy like Bronny, or you look at a guy like LeBron, or even Kobe. Effective leaders encourage experimentation, learning from mistakes. Right? So if you look at a guy like Kobe, is he focusing on so every time he's trying to take his shot to get better at his jump, is he paying more attention to what he's not doing well at to make what he's doing at better? You see what I'm trying to say?
I got you.
He's essentially embracing imperfection to make perfection be stronger. You believe in that?
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. He always says, I think it's Kobe. He always said he knows that he's not going to be perfect, but he tries to get as close to it as possible. So
yes, okay. Staying on the theme of Kobe, because I know you're a fan of his. He's one of the greatest basketball players of all time. Control, is it overrated, Marty? Micromanagement and excessive control can stifle creativity and initiative. For example, again, coaches or instructors you've worked with in your life. Micromanaging leaders often see lower employee engagement and higher turnover. On your teams you've played with, have you had guys that were super controlling and guys that you've played with who are just like, I'm just checking out of here, man, because this guy's a controlling freak?
Yeah, I've seen that a lot.
Yeah,
I've seen it happen a lot. Because even though we're here to work, we're here to accomplish a goal, it's got to be enjoyable, and nobody enjoys controlling. I mean, even think about a relationship. You don't want your husband or wife or boyfriend or girlfriend trying to control everything you do. So the same happens for a coach or a leader. You're gonna mess up, and you can't spend the whole time, your whole performance, worrying about not messing up.
Yes.
Yes. I had my worst games when I was worried about not messing up. It's like, bro, go out there and play. Yes. Yeah, go out there and do your work, do your job. If you make a mistake, oh well, you learn from it and try not to make the same mistake. It's okay. Life goes on.
Life does go on. Yes, absolutely.
And even with the content space, me and you talked about this before. It's like, okay, I had a bad show or I was stuttering a lot. Guess what? When they cut the show off, people are moving on with their life. They're not worried about you messing up, stuttering, saying a word wrong, saying a cuss word, slipping up,
I'm glad you said that, Marty, because I was working on some stuff last night, not to segue away from leadership, but But Nation, I'm going to tell you straight up, man. If you're in the podcast space, you're stuck in 1980. Like live conversations and live shows like Keith and CMarty are making every single day. Keith and Marty do this show. We're one day further ahead of all you guys. I'm just telling you. I'm going to be very frank with all of you listening right now. If you all want to get on tomorrow's content train, you might want to call us up and sign us up to say, hey, can you teach us how to make us a live show? Many of you out there are teaching people how to make podcasts. Many of you are out there teaching people how to make shows from 1980, which is great. That's awesome. Go make your money. But nobody's teaching people how to make live shows. You might want to come knock on Keith and CMarty's door. Because what Marty just... Go ahead, Marty.
I was going to say what's crazy is someone pointed out to me because there's these people that been following me for years. Now they got a fitness podcast. You see them behind a mic and people are like, oh, they copying you. And I was like, let them. I'm like, they can't catch up. One, they're probably recording it, chopping it up and cutting stuff out. I'm doing it live. Like, majority of my clips come from live. And even when I'm in the car and I do my car videos, my car reactions, those are one take. Most of them, like probably 90% of them are one take. So all about reps. And we're getting the reps in daily. So it's going to be hard to catch us. Or guys like us.
That's exactly it, Nation. So if you're looking to make content, man, and Marty talked about live and talking about leadership here, is start making content and just start doing it. We're talking leadership. We're talking overrated leaders. And what is an overrated leader? I know some of you listening right now have worked with or are currently working with overrated leaders. I'm like, who's this guy? Who's this girl? They're actually not that great of a leader. The overvaluation of extroversion and constant availability, Marty. Extroverted leaders are often seen as more effective due to their outgoing nature. However, research shows that introverted leaders can be equally, if not more effective in certain contexts. Example, let's take somebody like maybe Tim Cook. You know, some would consider him as an introvert, but he's focused on deep thinking. He's focused on listening. Where you may have had a guy like Steve Jobs, who was out there, right? Both very effective leaders, two very different approaches. Do you have a preference, Marty, whether it's an extrovert or introverted leader? As I've gotten to know you, I know you, well, you and I know we both come across as very extroverted. I know privately we're both very private, human beings. When you are led by somebody, Marty, is there a preference for an extroverted, introverted, or who do you tend to follow or like to be a part of?
Probably doesn't matter for me. You know, I want there to be like transparency, like I said, the communication and, a connection. So I think maybe I'd be more effective with an introvert, someone like myself. But if I happen to have an extrovert, that's perfectly fine with me. I wouldn't care as long as we're getting the job done. Yeah.
Some of the strengths of an introverted leader, Marty, is introverts often excel in thoughtful decision-making, empowering others. Let's look at Bill Gates. Right, he had an introverted nature. He contributed to Microsoft's innovation. The importance of leveraging quiet strengths. Like the focus and deep work. Right, I know in my experience, when I get into, you've used the word flow a number of times this morning. You get into that deep flow.
Yeah,
nothing can get in the way of that. Right, you're just going hard. Right, so here's another one, Marty. Constant availability is overrated. Leaders who are always available can become bottlenecks and burnout. And I'm going to admit, during my lifetime as a leader, I have had this role. I've had to learn to remove the bottleneck in previous situations where I know that maybe I was getting in the way, right? And I think that's something that we do learn as leaders, which is if you find yourself getting in the way, get out of the way. The best thing you can do as leaders is to get out of the way. It really is. Yeah. Let your people go, right? So, and then set those boundaries for better productivity and tasks. Marty, the contrarian view, the flaw of relentless optimism. We have some leaders that are relentlessly optimistic. Constantly positive can blind leaders in real issues and challenges. Everything's good, not wanting to talk about, the challenges that might be in front of us or around us. That is an attribute of a highly overrated leader. Creating an environment where dissenting opinions are discouraged, stifling innovation and problem solving. No, I don't want to hear that, Marty. No, you're wrong. No, what are you thinking about? No. And I think that those kinds of leaders tend to gaslight. right? Where they're flipping your opinion around, thinking that you're actually the one who's incorrect about the whole thing.
Yep.
Right. So some of the pitfalls of over optimism, Marty, unrealistic goals, listening to disappointment and burnout. And really the effective leader is about balancing optimism with realism, inspiring hope while remaining grounded in reality. And there's skill there, right? Teaching people how to think long-term, but then ground them in the day-to-day realities, especially with something that you just said, right? You know, somebody's listening to you, and then the moment you say something, they're going on with their day, right? Because we're all busy, right?
Nobody cares.
That's exactly it. That's exactly it. So some of the conclusion and takeaways. Today, we debunk some of the overrated leadership qualities, charisma, visionary thinking, and relentless optimism. True leadership, Marty, true leadership is really about balance, authenticity, and empowering others. So today, nation, as you're going throughout your day, if you're leading others, would really strongly encourage you to reflect on your own leadership qualities, reflect if you're being a bottleneck, reflect on your own introverted attributes or extroverted attributes, and ask yourself or ask your team what you can perhaps be doing better for them. Mm-hmm. Maybe you consider yourself being an overrated leader. If you are, how can you change that?
I think a lot of people are overrated leaders, to be honest with you.
Talk about that.
So I think they're overrated, but I think they had the potential to not be overrated, but they got to be open to criticism and open to hearing things from other people. A lot of leaders tend to be stuck in their ways, and they think just because they're the leader, they have that title, they can't listen to anyone else.
Yes.
And 9 times out of 10, you know, you're probably the leader because you have strengths in certain areas, but you're probably not strong in every single area. So it won't hurt to hear, you know, feedback or, you know, where you can make some tweaks from someone else that's quote unquote lower than you.
I saw a great quote yesterday or a couple of days ago. It was from somebody within one of the social channels. But you know, great leaders are actually great followers, right? Because if you're a great leader, you're open to following other leaders. You're open to following others, right? And if you're open to that, you're going to be even a better leader, right? So as a leader, if you're open to listening to your team, if you're open to listening to other folks, the reality is you're actually even a better leader than if you're one who's not wanting to follow. So don't always think that it's always on your shoulders, Marty.
Well, whenever I talk to older people like yourself, not old, I didn't say old, I said older.
Older.
Meaning you've been here longer than me.
Yeah. The wisdom folks.
The wisdom guys and gals. So the one thing they say is, you know, that they can help because the game doesn't change. You know, whatever lane you're in, the game is still the same. Now you might have enhanced AI or, you know, you might have social media now, but the game is still the same. You know, like sales is still the same. Personal training is still the same, right? The psychology of the human mind is still the same. So you can still give me the same advice that probably helped you. OGG Maurice could probably give the same advice because that, you know, what helped him. So that's another reason to be open to being a follower and then eventually becoming a great leader.
I like that.
That makes sense.
Absolutely does. Yes. Yeah. I like that a lot. But it's difficult for many of us humans to do that, Marty, because what also happens, there's that old saying, right? That cliche is it's difficult to teach an old dog new tricks. Right. Yeah. So it's, and I know I talked about this with you yesterday, right? So me as a dad to Brooks, as a bonus dad to Brooks, I you know, and with Lauren, I've been fortunate to learn, again, as a wisdom soul, a new way of parenting, a new way of being a father figure, and being open to new things that I didn't learn 20 years ago, right? And it's, you have to be open to that. And I know even talking with OGG, right? You know, OGG is always open to learning new things.
Yep.
Right. And it's, you got to be wanting to have an open mind to learning new things instead of being stuck in, oh, that's just how it's always been done, I'm not going to be open to it. Well, then you're just going to probably fail as a leader. So exactly correct. All right, Jimmy. So here's what we're going to do, Jimmy. Last 9 minutes of the show here. We're going to come up with the CMarty Fit Tip here in a minute. We're going to get that rolling here, Marty. And then we're going to come in and we are going to talk about the only compound exercise you need, nation. for jacked and strong shoulders. We all know that we all like to walk around with those big shoulders and confidence and walk into a meeting room with those confidence. It all starts with those shoulders. We're going to get into what you need for jacked and strong shoulders. Before we do that, we get the CMarty Fit Tip. I saw your question there, Enzo. The merch. Well, my friend, you want to come and help me create some stuff? We should talk offline. I can use some help. You want to help? You can help me. Enzo, you want to come do some work in the lab, my friend? Come knock on my door. We'll do some work here. You can help me. You can help me tie some loose ends up, and I'm serious. So I can use some help. If you want to give me a hand, I'm happy to have you jump into the fire to help with that. So, Jimmy, let's get on over to turning the cameras on to. Yep, this one right here.
All right, let's talk about it, man. We got the fitness tip for the day. Make sure your training is balanced. Cover all your muscle groups for the best results. Let's get into it, man. Are you training all your muscle groups? Here's why it's important. Training all muscle groups ensures balanced strength, reducing the risk of injuries. That's what we're there for. Improve performance. A well-rounded routine enhances overall athletic performance, making you stronger and more agile. Super important as you age, as you get older, and you want to prevent the process of aging. Better flexibility. Same thing. Working on different muscle groups improves overall flexibility and mobility, helping you move freely and reduce the risk of injury. Aesthetic goals. For a symmetrical and toned physique, work on all areas of your body. So a lot of the ladies like to skip upper body day, and a lot of the fellas like to skip leg day. Even though it's uncomfortable and you think it might not be beneficial for you, you got to do it. You got to do it. You want longevity, and you want to reduce injuries, the risk of injury, upper body, shoulders. You know, people get older, have shoulder problems, hip problems. Got to work everything. All right. So bottom line, make sure your fitness plan covers all the bases, train smart, and see real results. That's the fitness tip for today.
All right. There's your fitness tip of the day. Marty's got you every single day, nation. Keep your awareness in your head, put some knowledge in your head. And Marty.
It's summertime, though. We're not supposed to work out that much.
It's the time you work out harder. It's the time you get those lifts a little heavier. It's the time to get up earlier in the morning. It's the time to get into the gym, to get those shoulders jacked, to walk it out onto the beach and so forth. But Marty, before we do that, Lotus Flower has a good question coming back to the last segment. How do both of you feel about leaders who lead but are unqualified to lead because of lack of knowledge and or experience? CMarty Fit.
I was trying to see the question. Hold on one second. I'll pull it up.
Yeah.
How do both of you feel about leaders who lead but are unqualified to lead because of lack of knowledge and or experience? Well, I mean, sometimes, unfortunately, you have to deal with that. You know, you might have a leader who that might be the boss's family member, or you know. But the thing is, you still got to respect the boss. You know, you can't disrespect them, and you just got to do your job to the best of your ability. You know, don't focus on, well, they're, you know, I'm probably smarter than them in this area. I'm better than them in this area. Okay, well, if you are, let the results show it. You know, you got to be so great and so much better that the whoever's above them or whoever hired them, they can notice it, and maybe they can make the shift or make the change. So that's my advice.
I agree with you. And what I would add to that is you control what you can only control. Mm-hmm. If you have a horrible leader, well, then, you know, show them why they're a horrible leader, or keep doing your thing and outlead them eventually. But, you know, unfortunately, life isn't fair, and some people are going to be in positions where they shouldn't be, but they're going to be there. And it's up to you, White Lotus Flower, from time to time. If you're like, this person's a horrible leader, move on to the next one, would be the advice I'd give you, frankly.
Real quickly, when
when
I was in LA, I was like building my business out there. This is before the pandemic. I took a job at a gym. I'm not going to say what gym, but I had a boss there, And I've done really well in training, and I'm not cocky, but so he was telling me, well, if you want to do this in the training business, this dude's out of shape, could barely lift. He came and tried to lift with me one day. I'm like, bro, you can't give me any advice on this, man. Like, so, but I had to let my results speak. So
yes, and then the immediate disrespect factor went.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. All right, so it's summertime, as Marty said. You're all getting up this morning. You're thinking about, so if you're on the West Coast, you're thinking, I'm going to go to the beach today. And I want those big, jacked shoulders. We're going to dive into the only compound exercises you will need, Marty, to get those powerful, bolder shoulders. So, first one, the overhead press. CMarty Fit.
Oh, yeah. For sure. Oh, yeah.
Primarily targets those deltoids, triceps, and upper chest. The importance of core engagement in proper form. The benefits of overhead pressing increases shoulder strength and stability. Marty, comments on the overhead press. Favorite of yours? Non-favorite of yours?
Twice a week. Overhead press twice a week.
Beautiful.
One day barbell, one day dumbbell.
Love it. Science suggests that research shows that the overhead press activates the anterior deltoid significantly more than the other shoulder exercises. It also enhances your core stability, engaging core muscles more than traditional core exercises. So, we've talked.
So one day.
Go ahead.
I was going to say one day. So I do one day, like I said, dumbbell, one day barbell, and I alternate. One day it'll be standing, one day it'll be sitting. Your core is activated either way, but when you're standing and doing it, yeah, that core is activated. You can feel it. So,
and there's a benefit of the compound exercise, right, Marty? Because we talked in the past about doing, these individual movements or isolated movements. When you get that compound lift, you get those big, heavy, those heavy dumbbells or barbells. You're activating your core. Your whole body is being activated right now. There's a nice compound lift that's going to get those shoulders jacked and get that compound, benefits for your whole body. Benefits for athletes. Some of the key takeaways: the overhead press is essential for building shoulder strength and mass while improving core stability. Marty, what's a common mistake that somebody might make while doing the overhead press, and how could one avoid it when they're doing the overhead press?
There's multiple. If you're standing, try not to use your legs as much. Try to use your legs, give them that extra push, that bounce. A lot of times you don't want to lock your elbows, but you do want to get full extension. You want to get full range of motion. And then when you're coming down, you don't have to come all the way down here when you're doing a overhead press. You just want to go to where the muscle's still engaged. So some people it's 90, some people can get right below 90, but you want to keep the muscle engaged. You don't have to come down here, so.
Marty, moving from the shoulder press, you said one of the ways that people would do it incorrectly is engaging their legs. So then what I'm going to think you're suggesting somebody to do then at that point is moving from that compound movement with the shoulder press, let's move to a push press, which is incorporating the lower body power, making it a full body workout, allowing for heavier weights, enhances explosive power, benefits for athletes, increases power output, and so forth. So Marty, move the conversation from the shoulder press to the push press and the benefits of the push press, Marty.
Yeah, so the push press, you're pushing more load, so that would make more sense. Now we're talking about a different movement. So of course your shoulders are still activated, but now you're adding that explosion in there. It's more of a high twitch movement, a fast twitch movement, and a little bit of leg activation too. So now you're looking at more of a full body movement as opposed to a shoulder isolation.
The key takeaway, Marty, from the push press: boosts shoulder hypertrophy and athletic performance by leveraging that lower body power.
Yep.
Right. So, Marty, what's your favorite aspect of the push press compared to other shoulder exercises?
Like I said, more weight. I think I get. This might be most people, but me, I get that adrenaline rush. Like, yo, I'm push pressing X amount of weight. Like I feel great about it, opposed to when I'm just doing a shoulder press, just isolating the shoulders. I can't go as heavy, and yes. I'm all for the athletic movement. Anything that makes me feel like an athlete, I'm loving that 1,000 times more.
The bent over row targets the rear delts, engages the rear delts, rhomboids, and trapezius, essential for balanced shoulder development and preventing injuries. Marty, the complementary exercise that works well in conjunction with the overhead press and the push press, often neglecting those rear shoulder muscles. So if you want to have that nice balanced delt, could not encourage you enough to do those bent over rows. Marty, talk about bent over rows.
Man, bent over rows are great. I do those twice a week as well. And you can get the dumbbell, you can do or you can do barbell. Both are great movements. You're going to burn a lot of calories. And if you're doing the barbell, you can switch up the grip. You can go overhand, you can go up underhand. But great back movement and rear delt movement. And it'll definitely change the way your physique looks.
Yeah. So you take those exercises, Marty, you take the overhead press, the push press, the bent over rows, those compound exercises, nation, those big exercises are essentially the only major exercises you will need for strong, athletic shoulders. Yes, there's tons of other ones you can do, but if you really largely focus on doing the push, the overhead, the bent over rows, do some rear delts and so forth, you're going to get some nice looking shoulders and do them once, twice a week and so forth, right? These exercises target multiple muscle groups, ensuring balanced and powerful shoulder development. Marty, what would be some advice you would offer, nation, to incorporate these exercises into the routines for maximum shoulder gains? Once, twice, 3 times a week? You've talked about twice, but how would you wrap it up?
I'd say aim for twice a week. But, if you're only in the gym 3 days out of the week, just make sure you hit it once a week.
There you go.
Yeah, that's it. It's simple. It's really nothing else to it.
There you go. So the only compound exercises, nation, you need for those jacked and strong shoulders, don't ignore them. Don't ignore them. We as humans, we gain that confidence with that big chest, with those shoulders. And ladies, don't worry, you're not going to turn into Arnold Schwarzenegger if you're lifting heavy weights. You're going to look strong. You're going to feel strong. Exactly. Look strong, feel strong. Most importantly, you're going to feel confident with those nice strong shoulders. So we're wrapping up the show. Enzo's coming in here with, yes, Enzo, you'll help. Awesome, man. I'll connect you on Instagram. We'll talk about it, my friend. I would love your help, frankly. Let's do that. I'm back from holidays next week. I'm spending all week next week at home, and I'll happy spend helping you guys and chilling with you guys. Awesome, Enzo. That's awesome, pal. Really very much appreciate that. That's exceptional. Oh, yes, you're the coach's son.
The coach's son is hilarious. We've all been there. Oh, and I know Enzo played against a couple coaches' sons in soccer.
That's funny, man. And he's going to the ski field today, which is awesome. Enzo, we love you joining, man. We love you joining every single day, and you're obviously very much welcome here in the lab. Marty, we are working on wrapping up the show. Lotus, thanks for joining us here today. Thanks for your questions and comments.
Thanks, Lotus.
We had a great conversation with you guys all today, nation. We talked about leadership. We talked about the qualities of an overrated leader. We talked about AI and fitness. Talked about the accountability check-in, leading with love. Talked about getting your lift in today. Marty, I want to talk about maybe tomorrow or later this week. I want to talk about maybe opening up the conversations around maybe some other social networks. I've been having some fun in Threads lately.
Yeah, you got to talk about that one. I don't know much about it, so
yeah,
you got to give us your take and what you think about it.
I'm thinking that we're going to bring the Threads conversation to the table here in the coming weeks.
You should. I think you should.
So. That's the plan. So, all right, we're going to get out of here. What's this, Enzo? Marty, rate the pick of Donald Trump with me.
10 out of 10.
Yeah, there you go.
You gotta get a Biden picture now, bro.
Oh, you gotta get a Biden picture.
It's election year. It's election year. You gotta get a picture with both.
There you go. Alex has just sent me a note here saying that he's going to help us get Snoop Dogg on the show. So Alex, thanks for that as well. So, all right, we're gonna get out of here, nation. We're gonna be back tomorrow. Tomorrow, Dr. Daniel Labby, talking sport vision, athletics, burning your eyes out from all that screen work. So come join us tomorrow, 8:00 Eastern time. Keith and CMarty, you're going to get out of here. You guys have yourself a great one. Marty, final word to you, pal.
Hey, this was a great show and a conversation that's needed. A lot of people struggle with having that leader they don't like. So I think it was good. Very insightful convo.
I agree. Hey, what I'd like to say, if you don't like your leader, Marty, go get a new leader or go get a new job.
Or become the leader.
Oh, or become the leader. All right, nation, have a great one. We will see you guys tomorrow, and we'll see you in the feeds all day today. Marty, we'll talk to you later, pal.
Talk to you later.
See you guys.
All right.